What's up?
Nothing.
How you been, friend?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Long time no see.
Yeah. What is there like an RC apocalypse behind you in that camera shot? Like there's a
No,
million boxes?
you see nothing. There is nothing. There is nothing behind me.
Okay.
I mean, there might be a box or two. I don't know.
Yeah. I see 16 boxes.
Yeah, and they're all fucking destroyed from the UPS people in fucking somewhere New Jersey.
I think it's New York, but yeah, sure. Sounds good.
Yeah, yeah. No, it says the thing goes through New Jersey.
Well, New Jersey is definitely a pivotal state in
Farmingdale. Farmingdale is that?
that's New York, buddy.
Okay, all right. Well, maybe. All right. So yeah, Farmingdale, New York will fuck up your package.
Yeah, probably.
They're like, we
Man,
hate.
the Floridians, you have your own little club. You get Adrian Martinez and you get Florida Man.
They're excited. You know,
Yeah,
look, we actually advertised that we were doing a show.
like
People,
7 minutes before it happened.
no,
Maybe,
we put it on the Facebooks like hours ago.
yeah, 3 hours ago.
Don't matter. I mean that. Hey, I mean this is why we got the people we got. Yeah, Florida representing right now.
Who
I
outdid who?
yeah. Uh,
What is outdid who?
I am the best.
What, you're the best racer who didn't even finish top 3 in the D main?
And where'd you finish?
Behind you?
Exactly. That's all that matters.
Yeah, a 4 and a 6. Those are heavy hitters right there. Heavy hitters.
I got beat by a Roar national champion and a world champion. I've been by 2 national champions and a world champion finished right in front of me in the D main.
Who is the world champion?
Cavallari.
Yeah, I think Cavalieri was just, he was definitely just circulating, but
I'm just saying we were in the same main. One of us shouldn't have been there. I don't know who that would have been. I
well,
have
it's gotta be most of the people in front of us. But that's okay. It is what
so
it is.
yeah. So yeah.
Here, this is pretty exciting.
How many?
Yeah, 25. It's
Look
pretty
at us. Hey, if we actually put some effort into this shit, we might do okay. I don't know.
Nah, doubtful.
Check out the new merch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like it not at the track. You didn't seem to like it at the track. Did you wear it?
No. Fuck no. It is not conducive to a fat man's body.
But you're wearing it now.
Yeah, because I'm not working on anything.
It looks great on you.
Well, I mean, I know everything does, but what I'm saying is that it does not see. You see this right here, this area right here.
Is that the
This rubs up against the table like this,
Yeah.
and then it turns black. And so then I go out to eat, and I have this black line right across there, and that's why I wear black, kids. It's hey, fat man tip from Monty. I'm just saying. I mean, the things that you get from this podcast, the tips and information, are life changing. Really.
So Mangler, you seem to be all about the guys hugging it out. What was it about one man love that you enjoyed the most from this event?
Well, I was just going through pictures, and I mean, stealing them from Red RC, and I like the first 3 pages of pictures were just dudes hugging each other. So I'm like, well, it looks like a theme that I need to just embrace and bring together. And it's what the world does. It brings us all of our cultures and differences and political beliefs and everything together into the joy of RC racing. And that's what the world is supposed to be. And that's what happened. I mean, it's self-evident from the thumbnail pic that everyone was just having a good time and just sharing their love and passion for this crazy hobby / sport that we do. And I just wanted to comfort. I mean, I just wanted to embrace it and Put that out there in the world. What was that noise? Put that out in the world. Can you hear me?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
All right. So, more comments. Your earmarks look awesome on you. Was there an earmuff picture?
there was 0 pictures of me on Red RC.
No, that's not true. I found a few. Most of them were you like this, and it looked like you had an inverse yarmulke. You know, it was even deeper than that. It
No,
was
that was not. That was not on Red RC.
okay. Well, maybe it was one up.
Yeah, it was not on Red RC. I went through all the Red RC pictures today. There was one where you could see my belly standing next to Sam. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Earmuffs for the win, man. I tell you what, we needed them in the morning. It was like 40. It was really chilly.
Yeah.
The one morning was a little windy, and yeah, they were dialed. I mean, by time qualifying start though, you take them off and you're good to go. But keeps you going in the morning, gets you going in the morning, right? You got your protection on and everything like that.
Your protection on. All right.
Yeah.
And then look, here's the person who really watched the race. He said, "You guys were close the entire time."
Uh,
And
I
then I
mean,
don't understand the plus Mangler was a gentleman for FJ for a moment.
when I let your ass by.
Well, maybe, like I also let your ass by too on one occasion, and then I got fucked, and we're going to talk about that. Fuck person.
Oh,
That
we've touched a
Australian.
nerve. We've touched a nerve, ladies and gentlemen. I've never seen you so mad in my life. I don't think I ever you were angry.
I
You
was
were one. You were a very angry elf. Like
yes.
you had chose violence at that moment.
No, I wish I did, because then you would have been gone.
So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Let's
Well,
talk about the scenario that put you to fucking 11.
so, when you're at one of these races, the conversation is mostly around, there's a race announcer who's trying to make like a show, and then there's this official who is the race referee who mostly just says dumb shit. And clearly, based upon the fact of like the lack of calls during A1 and other races, basically does nothing of value during the race at all. All right. And the reason I say they do nothing of value, I heard people get stop and go calls. I didn't get one, but were you ever told where you would stop and go?
I didn't think it was just anywhere safe on the track.
Yeah, but that seems dumb. There should be like a actual position where you go, because otherwise the person does it in a dumb spot where they don't stop long enough, and
Yeah.
then waste more fucking time. And unfortunately, at this event where you're on a schedule the entire time, you can never just like throw the car out. You're kind of beholden to these clowns. And so it was one of the qualifiers. I don't remember which one. I had won the prior qualifier, so I led out first, and then it was you and Drew Ellis coming up behind me, and you guys were both going like balls out, and I was like, I don't need to get caught up in some sort of bullshit at the beginning of this race, so I let you guys by, and then 2-3 laps, oh, the car comes in, all right, feels good. So I start like coming up on Drew, and the race.
I was checked out, gone. By the way, just wanted
that's fine. Doesn't matter because you failed later in the race. You could have had like 27 laps that run, but you only got your 26, so you failed. Anyway, so moving forward, the guy says car 3, or maybe was I car 1? I was car 3, maybe.
You were.
I don't know. Whatever. Car 3, back off of car 7. This is like 45 seconds into the race. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, dude. So I start trying to have a conversation with this fucking guy on the stand, which was a mistake. And basically, if you look at the lap times, it was like a good lap, like let's say 11.3, then 11.9, and then a 19-second lap. And yeah, if I was smart, I would have gotten off the stand, thrown him off the fucking stand. That would have been much better.
So to kind of explain again, you had caught back up to Drew, even though you had let him by, but then Drew wasn't returning the favor, and the referee thought that you were pressuring the guy that he actually was ahead of you. So it's kind of like, well, I'm coming back on this person, so why don't I have the opportunity to get back by?
Yep.
And I guess in the referee's eye, you had blown that chance when you let him by to begin with.
I guess. And so, what I told you for the rest of the day was, I guess I'm just going to wreck you all weekend. Because I had faster runs than you all week until round 6, which is correct. You can look at the numbers.
Until when? Until basically the only day you were faster than me was fucking like Tuesday. And we
No,
only think we practiced on Tuesday.
no, hold on.
And so yeah, there you go.
Well, there's facts and there's your lies. All right. So you had a good round 1.
What are you
Okay,
talking about?
but it wasn't good. You just got good points. You got 24 points,
Yeah.
but it wasn't a good run, like in absolute terms, not a good run.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, but then I won round 2. All right, I won round 2, and that time held until Rick beat me in one of the rounds. And so, like, usually the starting order was FJ, then Mangler, and then it was Rick, then Mangler. I'm sorry, Rick, then FJ, then Mangler. And it was only in round 6 of qualifying did you actually get a total time that was faster than any of the ones that I had run. And that's real. But that's okay. You can deal with it.
That's just one time.
Yeah. You only beat me once. I agree.
No. Your 601 was 0.2 faster than my 601 at that time. However, I had run other 601s.
Yeah, but they were all
and
slow.
You did not.
Okay. I had multiple 601s.
Okay.
Multiple sucky 601s, which is the converse of other people who are disappointed with their weekends. In conversations with Hebert, he's like, I ran 5 runs of 27.501. And I was like, oh, I feel really bad for you. Go fuck yourself. Right? Because he basically ran the same consistency, but just a lap faster than us.
Well, I mean, mine really wasn't that consistent because I should have had like 4 27-lap runs, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, you didn't. So.
I know.
Yeah, anyway. And then so my favorite part was, like, I wanted to talk to the referee. He wouldn't talk to me. You can't find who the IFMAR official is. And then the US team guy, he's out at fucking McDonald's. And like, it's just a big goddamn waste of time with some of these things in these events. And so, like, all in all, what ended up happening? No one took my money for a penalty. They wanted me to write something explicitly describing which rule the guy wasn't upholding. And so me and actually Clayton started writing something, but then we gave up on it because come the next round of modified, it wasn't this Aussie guy anymore, but Tim was there. And so Tim was calling traffic or not calling traffic. And I was about to get in that guy's face, whoever it was. I didn't know who it was. I was leading that heat, and I came across somebody, and they basically door slammed the fuck out of me and weren't calling traffic at all, even though I was coming up to pass them. And I was going to have words with whoever was I thought it was the Aussie guy. I didn't look. And then I saw it was Tim, and I just smiled, and I tapped him on the shoulder, and I kept walking. So I was getting hot as I was passing this guy, and he was just railing me. But yeah.
So what people don't, so people that weren't there and don't know the rules or whatever, at an IFMAR event, the race announcer cannot call traffic. He cannot call lap times. He can call overall pace, but he cannot call individual lap times. He can call who's first, second, and third, but he cannot call traffic. The referee must call all traffic, must do, hey, and there on the stand, he has a little microphone in a little speaker that you pretty much can only hear on the driver's stand, and he would let people know that, hey, car one is the leader, car two, please, your leader's coming up on you. And I mean, he did that a lot for me. I mean, I had no problem with the guy. He really, he called traffic for me several times, because for all the races I was leading, and I didn't have much of a problem. I know that obviously you did. It is kind of a shitty situation because you let the person by, but then you run back up on them. What's the etiquette at that point? And in the way I see it, is that if you're going to come back up on me, I mean, I'm going to probably take a couple corners and make sure you're really there, but then I'm going to let you by. And because at the end of the day, it's a fucking toy car race, right? Um, but anyway,
Yeah.
so
So
yeah, that's kind of how it works. A little bit different than a normal race, where the race announcer is calling all those things and giving you more information. But in this case, it cannot happen, which is some weird European thing. I think that really probably needs to go. I don't know why we still have it or still do it, but
yeah, I don't know, but I was livid at that minute because my car was good, um, and I should have had much better points from that run than I ended up getting. So
yeah, still probably wouldn't have helped.
well, I still probably would have been in the D, but like when you start car zero in the D, you got way more work to do than when you start farther up in the D. So
Like fourth.
yeah,
Yeah.
like for you to get fourth overall, that's okay. I think I got maybe eighth overall, something like that, but like with my best run of a six, and there's only so far you can go.
Yeah, I hear you
So,
for sure. I think though overall, I don't know about you. We can talk about the event more and other details, but I thought I thought it was well run. I thought that obviously there's some changes being made, right? They're going through and they are um, looking at the way they do things, and you can kind of see the progression of IFMAR, looking to improve and looking to do better. But there was a lot of compliments, especially from European guys, saying this is the best ran worlds that they've ever had. I mean, I know that there was still some complaints as far as procedurally how we are doing things and some confusion. It would have been nice if they've taken those instructions of like, this is how your tire situation is going to work. This is what you need to do. Here are the rules. Here are the exceptions, or here, this is what you're allowed to do. A lot of that was a telephone game for the first day or so. Where you hear one thing, but that by the time it gets to somebody else, it's totally changed. So then it comes back around to you, and you're like, I didn't even hear, like, how'd that come about? And so, um, but I think obviously steps are being made to address those issues. I mean, there was a little bit of confusion, I guess, at the beginning, but once everything got straightened out, it was a well-run event. I think it went fairly smoothly. The track was excellently prepared by David and his team. Uh, Ryan, David, all the Tim, Big Enos, Linus, everybody that was kind of associated with it. They, yeah, I think they did a great job, and it was organized. Once we kind of got the okay, this is how it's actually going to go, and where the information they could have gave to us sooner uh, would have been helpful. But once we got everything down, it was pretty much like clockwork. Um, I didn't think there was really any issues or complaints. I think everyone had a good time. Tires seemed to work well. There wasn't any issues that I knew of with tires. Everyone seemed to be pretty consistent with it. We thought there could be
hold
some
up.
drama at the beginning, but there
Yeah,
wasn't.
hold up. Let's just talk about what the drama was. So, like, there was a whole conversation about like, did you have shiny tires or dull tires?
Well, let's talk about why this. So around April, May of this past year, there was a certain batch of sweep tires that was super shiny, and these tires would like stick to the bag when you put them in when they were brand new. They were like kind of tacky. They were a little different. And that batch of tires, I don't think I had that many sets, so I can't really say for certain, but that batch of tires is perceived to be faster or better. Now, There wasn't a lot of these. This batch wasn't very big. It was very minimal. It's probably the one outlier of all. We've been running this tire for since May of 23, and so for almost 2 years now, or 1.5 years, I feel this tire has been extremely consistent. And but
Yeah,
things, variance in manufacturing happens, right?
I feel
And
like that
so
was more prevalent in European markets, possibly.
could have been. Who knows? I know it was at the one up race. There was a mix in there. I know that when Sam came down to Florida and he raced at Nuggets in April, he had those tires. And so they were out there to some degree. It's kind of one of those things that, it just happens, but it happens. But in any case, they're gone. You can't find them anymore. So when we fast forward to the warm up, there was a particular team that had a lot of these shiny tires that they were using to practice on during the week prior, a week post warm up race, whenever all the teams were there, and it was discussed, and like some other factory drivers got some of those tires and they went faster with them, and they saw that there was a huge improvement. Um, so the concern was, will this shiny batch show up again? And so I know that prior to the race, that they took every box of tires that came in. They took two sets, and they literally cut open all four tires that were in that bag. So 8 tires total out of every box. They cut open. They made sure that it was the same inserts. They made sure the rubber was as similar as possible. They made sure that the rims were the same. They made sure that nothing was, everything was copacetic or up to par. And so when we started getting our tires, we're getting our tires in bags of 20. And so you go in, they give you this giant bag of 20 sets of tires, and then you can go take your tires and you go fuss with them and do what you wanted. Um, there was some tires that probably weren't glued as well as others. Happens, not nothing out of the realm, but in the world, you can take those tires and you can turn them in. So I had 3 sets. I concocted 3 sets out of all the tires that I had, that I didn't like, and I took them back and I turned them in for 3 more sets. And those 3 sets happened to be very shiny, like kind of like, oh fuck, here they are. And so now I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna scramble and trying to get other sets together to go take back so I can get more, right? And in that process, I went back to get more, and the box had switched, and the whole other box was just back to what everything else was. And anyway, fast forward to the event. So some people had these super shiny tires, some people did not. Some people had all super shiny tires. Some people had a mix, kind of like myself. Um, but on the track, there wasn't any difference. I couldn't tell any difference. I didn't never went faster with one set versus the other. I know that another team driver had mixed batches, and they weren't any faster than the other. So um, I think it was really consistent. I don't think there was any advantage out there. I think everybody. It was probably one of the few worlds that I've heard of without any tire drama, other than that first 10 minutes, and then everyone kind of realized that they weren't any different, and it all went away. I mean, are you actually listening to me? What are you doing?
I hear you. Don't worry about it. What I would say though is like, um, it does feel funny because there were like some performances of people that ran at the world's warm up and then they show up to the event and they fucking sucked. Right. And I think they know who they were. They were mostly, like they had one warm up and then they now in the B main. All right. So, it's an interesting double edged sword, like where you can show up, you can have some dialed ass tires, and then your car is a bag of dicks when you don't have that dialed ass tire anymore. Um, the other thing I think is interesting that was, in general, I feel like, I've been there a few times already, like let's say 5 times. And I still feel like the track was different this time than any of the other times I've been there.
Really?
Yeah, I would say the cars felt looser than they've ever been. for
Hmm.
me.
Okay.
Like, and I thought I got my head around this, but apparently not. And just like this sort of neutral or just about to get on the power, just center of the corner snappiness.
Yeah.
And when my car was the fastest that it was in the different rounds, um, it always had that sensation
Hmm.
where it felt like I was basically about to crash.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it is interesting. And who knows? Maybe my cars were so bad in the past that I never felt that. Because
Right.
like, albeit I didn't do a 10 whatever lap time, I did a lot of 11.0s, and I'd never done an 11.0 at that place ever. Like I think the fastest I ever went was like a 2 or 3, and that was like after racing in May. So, um, I feel somewhere or another the car went faster. I drove it faster. Maybe certain times it wasn't as consistent, and I think I found a little ways to get consistent. But in general, the cars are just like on a knife edge, and it was really easy to kind of like destroy yourself quickly.
Yeah. I mean, I thought that I don't know. I was there a month ago, and I felt it was, other than the oppressive heat that we were going through at the time, I felt the track was kind of was similar. Um, I feel it always has that kind of that uh, middle corner exit snap that you really have to fight there. But I think one of the things that says for that track is that it usually has decent side bite at times. Um, and that, like a Jackson, when you go to it, it has a lot of front steering but no side bite, and so uh, I think that definitely allows you to find that window to work in and get your car towards in a drivable state or position. Um, yeah, but that obviously everyone was kind of fighting the same thing. Uh, I don't know if there's necessarily one way to fix it or the other. But yeah, it was trying just to find a balance of what you could handle and what you couldn't. Um, so
Yeah, it's definitely interesting.
yeah.
Uh,
Um,
and I think some people really struggled with it.
oh,
So
for sure. Yeah,
I
I mean,
think,
it was that track is not easy, but it's the world's. It shouldn't be easy, right?
yeah,
You shouldn't be, oh, la di da di da. I mean, it should be hard.
at the end of the day, it almost felt like a carpet race. And I say that because upon like inspection of more people's cars throughout the rounds, it looks like a lot of people started gluing tires.
Yeah, but I never could really get a consistent handle on who and when and why or where.
Yeah, I
And
know I
like,
didn't do it.
yeah, I
So
didn't even.
so fuck that.
But there was also times where guys who won did not glue.
Mm, did they there was no glue on there was glue on Simon's car.
I didn't look at. I'm talking about Bruno's.
Okay, I don't know about Bruno's car, but there was
Yeah,
definitely glue on Simon's car and Max's car. I think their front and rears were both glued.
really.
Yeah,
No, so they didn't give us that memo.
Well, trust me, at these world events,
Yeah, I
there's a
know.
lot of things
I'm
not fair.
yeah. I'm fully aware. Like, it's funny that some people that they go to a world's event and they think it's like the fucking club show at the local track and everyone's just going to take the time to help them out. And it's like, no, dude, you're kind of on your own. And I mean, obviously, people are not going to let you drown. But I think at the same point in time, you need to be able to kind of figure it out on your own. And if you can't, sorry, because people have their own shit to deal with and work on. They don't have really time for your bullshit. And that's one thing I think that as Americans, we don't fully understand. Now, the Europeans, they kind of get that, right? But the the some of the Americans are just like, "Hey, I need help," and are just annoying.
So is that yourself or who is that?
Not me.
Oh,
I didn't talk to anyone.
yeah. That's not true.
I talked to you,
Uh-huh.
and I talked to you and EJ and Al, and that
You
was
weren't
it.
that annoying.
Huh? Oh
No.
wow.
All right. So here's a question. Let's move on. And there is a bunch of fun comments in here. Like we could go through some of the comments.
Let's go through the comments. Let's
All
do
right.
a comment catch up.
All right. Here we go.
Comment catch up. Boop, 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 boop. Comment catch up. Boop, boop,
Gray
boop,
shirts or black shirts. Yep.
Black gray shirts for the win. Yes.
I
Thank
don't
you.
know. And then it's supposed to be Ray shirts. All right. If you beat me, you must pay. That's not how that works. If I beat you, then I don't need you. That's how that works.
Yeah, there you
go. Election, we're going to pass on that one.
No, I think we should talk about this.
Let's keep moving. All right.
I don't think anyone said a word, really. I didn't hear anyone.
Most people shut it down.
Yeah, they didn't give a fuck. They were there to race cars.
What was the chassis selection and what would have you done differently?
Nothing.
Well, what was your chassis selection?
Steel.
You mean some sort of alloy?
Yes.
Yes, some sort of alloy.
We're still on that bullshit. Everybody knows by now.
And I would also ran that same sort of alloy. And unlike there were a few people that were savage and broke them, which we were fucking shocked about. So, holy fuck.
It only takes an American to destroy anything.
No, I saw pictures of somebody else who broke the backside of a chassis, and it was even more savage. And they were in.
They did a hydroplane.
You know, they didn't. But they backed a mod car backwards into something, and when you do that, it's never good.
Yeah.
It's like splinters.
Right.
All right, and then go to saying that you beat me 4 out of 5 times on the track. I don't know. I think we were actually even 3-3.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know. And it doesn't really matter. And then, yes, Florida man, the referee, horrible, inconsistent all week. And then it was funny. Drew was talking to me through these practice rounds. And he was, I guess he wanted us to shut the fuck up. Will has some more popcorn. Oh, and apparently there was a conversation that says FJ was only faster in one corner of the track, and otherwise you were the same speed. Well, that still means I was being held up because I couldn't go faster than them because I was stuck behind them. So anyway, moving on. All right. Give them 3 corners and move them. I didn't do that. All right. Mod A1. This is where we're at. I have, I think, different comments about Mod A1 than most people. Mostly because I wasn't watching some of the race the front initially. What caught my eye initially was the move that Mark made on Ronald down the straightaway. These guys on like the second or third lap, they do some crazy shit on the straightaway where they're like going like this. It's like, I thought it was like the Matrix. And somehow or another, because neither of them lifted, Mark beat him to the sweeper entry and got the position. And then proceeded to basically run down Bruno and, of course, then Orlowski. And I actually thought that Mark had the fastest car in A1. And, frankly, it was his speed that probably drove Bruno to do what he did to Orlowski. That's my take. Did you see the race, Mangler? Like, were you standing trackside? Yeah,
I was actually.
Okay, because you didn't watch
for once.
So yeah, that's why I'm really saying, did you see it? Because often you were heads down and working on something.
Yeah. No, normally I don't really watch a lot of the races, but yeah, that one I actually watched. I did not see the move. I didn't have a visual of it. I've later watched it online. I don't know, man. It's racing.
Well, there's a lot of this stuff about like Coelho takeout, CTO. Like he has a little acronym for it.
Oh yeah.
He's really good at like knocking on people's doors and kind of like, in triple A main scenarios, basically ruining a race or two.
I
So
mean, when you race as hard and as close as they were,
yeah.
eventually you're gonna touch. That's just all there is to it. It's an inevitability,
Mhm.
and so, um, I mean, do I think it was malice? No. Do I think it would happened? Yes, and it was an accident, most likely.
Yeah.
Now, what happens after that? I mean, Orlowski's car ends up breaking, so he can't even finish the race. So they can't assess a penalty on anyone. Reinhardt got around both of them,
Yep.
so it's like Bruno got punished inevitably for touching Orlowski, so it didn't really matter at the end of the day.
And
And
unfortunately, like they put I guess it was Bruno's car got down, and then like he hits Griner, and then someone else hits Sam, and blah blah blah. Like a lot of people because of that one incident, like their shit
yeah, it
got
had a ripple effect. Yes,
yeah.
for sure. Yeah,
So
chaos ensued. I mean, it looked like a mod oval main at Snowbirds.
yeah,
So, so,
yeah.
I don't know. I like again. I mean, when you race that close, that long, for that many laps, something's going to happen eventually. And I just think it was just hard, close racing,
Mhm.
and mistakes are going to be made, and I think that's what it was. It was a mistake,
Yeah. And
and
I don't know if everyone realizes, like, other than 12 scale mod, um, there's no RC cars that are raced competitively that are faster than these. There's nothing else. Like Nitro, they don't accelerate as fast. They might go as fast as a straight line, but they don't get up to speed anywhere near as fast. So, like, you know, it's very hard. It's not like these 8 scale tanks that like take forever to move.
yeah.
It, the reality is that these things are very fast. So, um, yeah, all right. Mihai says, I got here late, but all I hear are excuses. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. EAD. All right. Moving on. Um, Florida man, he said he almost got removed from the event because of all this stuff. Goder, who doesn't run mod, saying state series should keep on with 6 minutes. We're going to ignore him.
Well, did you see there was some
Hey,
shitheads that
you beat down a few other people today online about that. Yeah, you were cyber bullying people just like all the Trumpsters out there. So good job.
oh, fuck them.
And then not only about the shiny tires, almost everyone was checking balance and rerunning the bad ones or returning the bad ones. I don't know. I didn't even have any real bad ones. Like we're buying 20 sets of tires. I thought they were really good.
Oh yeah. I mean, I
Like,
was just being stupid picky.
yeah. I had 13 sets that did not have a vibration to them in any
Yeah.
discernible way.
Right.
And then the other ones I just took, I threw them into bags, and I didn't worry about it. Like I was like, these are practice tires. Who the fuck cares? It does not
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, yeah. I was just being stupid picky because I could be, and that was it.
Yep. Um,
Now on the surface.
we thought glue wasn't allowed. Well, again, like the rules are a little.
They announced it. They said you can glue tires, you just can't glue on the surface.
But again, like
That was announced.
that's fine. What I'm saying though is like it would be great if like this doesn't become a conversation. Like, can you add this to the rules? And then someone's mad that they didn't have a team to talk to. Well, you were on a mountain of one, so I'd recommend not running that car. And then he dumped them. The camera was right in that corner. Yeah, okay, maybe he dumped them. And then I mentioned Coelho takeout. Yep. Mm-hmm. 3 minutes, not touching. Blah blah blah. Yeah, it's serious. Like how close they were, and you could see they were definitely checking up at times,
Yeah.
and it only would take a slight stumble for you to basically have that situation.
Well, if I remember correctly, and I'm sure the internet will correct me if I'm wrong, it's really good at that. But I think Orlowski threw the bowl, kind of touched his right rear on the bowl, and kind of altered his exit going into the hairpin that would lead down to the back straightaway.
Mhm.
And so it's a ripple effect. And you know, I had a ripple effect happen to me in D2. And so sometimes when, they call it, the Constantina effect, the Europeans like to use when you watch either sports car racing or F1, the Constantina effect is real. And sometimes your closing speed is a lot faster than what you thought it was going to be, or you would assume based on natural pace or muscle memory or whatever, that the car in front of you would be out of that area by the time you get there. And sometimes that doesn't happen.
Yeah,
So,
you basically are praying, you know.
well, it's not even a prey thing. It's more of like, okay, you're the natural rhythm of this progression. You're far enough aback. You're far enough aback from the person in front of you that you're assuming that they're going to go through that corner just perfectly fine, and that you don't have an opportunity to pass there, and you're just going to keep following at your normal pace, and there shouldn't be an issue where uh, they slow down more than what you think. So um, it happens.
Yeah. And then it's funny because like everyone talks about A1, and I actually think there probably should have been better coverage at A3 because there was just a lot of beating on each other in A3. And there was one time when, well, before all the carnage happened, again, there was another amazing pass from Reinhardt on Volker, and he did it in the sweeper like short shoot.
That was after the carnage when he was
Oh,
trying to
was
work his way back. Yeah,
it?
that
Okay.
was after the wreck, and he was trying to work. He was like down to seventh or eighth because he got body tucked, and then he was trying to work his way back through the field. Oh yeah, that was probably the sickest move of the weekend, and it probably was on not zero cameras.
Yeah. So, basically, I don't know how long's the track, like, or how wide's the track? 70 feet wide, maybe 80 feet wide.
Not even
And
that.
so through the sweeper, basically, he was right behind Volker, somehow or another, turned underneath him, shot past him, and still made the corner into the infield. It was fucking amazing.
Yeah, it was. That was probably literally the move of the weekend that nobody saw.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, and then I tried calling this out online. Someone's asking about, let's see, hold on. Maybe I'm out of order with comments. Um, Something funny as hell. What about the B? And this is B2 last lap. And so Stewart, who qualified 12th,
Amazing job.
did a very good job in both B1 and B2. But he, especially in B2, he was the cork in the bottle of an entire freight train of people behind him. And what was funny was in the first race in B1, he came back into the pits, and I asked him, "Hey, what do you call that maneuver you did to Sawada twice?" He's like, "Oh, that's the reverse peel," right? Because he basically emulated another racer who has made some mains, but I don't think he's ever qualified that well at a asphalt race, which is Mike Haynes. Mike Haynes is known for having one of the widest cars in RC, and also being able to institute the reverse peel. And so the reverse peel, boys and girls, is when you do something that causes the person behind you to basically then blow the corner, blow their line, blah blah blah, while they just try to avoid not slamming into you. But it was done maliciously twice by Stewart, and that's what allowed him to get his good result in A or in B2 or B1, which allowed him to get second overall, and he won that position by like 0.2 of a second. In B2, he was again the slowest car. It seemed like he blew one braking zone into the 180 right before the bowl, and did like the most balls out. Like he just gassed it up. Like Sawada had already gotten inside of him. He gassed it up, shot past him, and then somehow like landed it, and then took it around the bowl and cut him off. Like I don't know how he did that. Like he just sent it. And if he probably tried to do that again, he could never do that again. So, but it was a really good pass. And otherwise, yeah, he got hit in the ass, and then whatever. fucking chaos ensued, and he honestly he deserved what he got for all that blocking. But it
I
is
mean, Sawada at some point was like, "All right, I'm tired of
yeah,
this
this is some
little
bullshit.
American," and I'm I'm like, "Fuck you."
Mhm.
So yeah, look, you can only at a certain point in time you're gonna block for so long, you're gonna get hit.
Yep.
Just ask Orlowski. You're gonna block for so long, you're
Yeah.
gonna get hit.
Yeah. And like this comment here, like I think Coelho probably should have TQ'd. He just didn't. So
Yeah, for
you
sure. Yeah,
know.
I think he had the fastest car all week. For the majority of the week, yeah, he probably should have TQ'd. And then we might not even be having this conversation. He probably could have just checked out, been gone, 1-2, been done.
I don't know who caused all the chaos in A3. All I know was eventually Jacob Cruz, who shout out to Jacob Cruz for putting it in the mate.
Yeah, good job.
Jacob ass hammered Reinhardt somehow or another. And Reinhardt had like a double body tuck that had to get peeled out. And what's that have to do with anything? Oh, you beat Jacob once?
Yeah, okay, just throwing that out there.
Yeah, because you know what? He should have thanked you for helping rattle him in February. And since February, apparently he's grown about a foot.
Yes, he has. Yeah, that kid has literally grown a foot in like the period of like 10 months.
Grown about a foot, has gotten mental toughness, and went, probably faster than he's ever gone before. So thanks a lot, Mangler.
Yeah,
You made
hey,
that.
that's what I do.
Yeah.
I make people better.
Yep. Sure. All right.
I
And then,
make you better.
yeah.
mean,
Okay.
I do.
All right. No. This is not being hated on. This is being celebrated.
Yeah,
The
I mean,
real
he
deal is something-
institutionalized a maneuver.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's definitely something you celebrate. And this place has the most grip of any track I think I've ever been to.
Yeah, I did not get to partake in this craziness. I'm glad I didn't. But a lot of the reports were that there was many a car destroyed.
Mm-hmm. One of them hydroplaned.
Yeah, there was hydroplaning on a dry track.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure that driver knows the definition of hydroplaning. Might need to Google that sometime. But yeah, it was rough.
Yeah.
You went. How did you like it?
I actually thought it was a lot of fun. If you were running like not mod, I think it would be an amazing track.
Okay. Mod's a little much there. Yeah, it was like 9-second laps.
Yeah. And the layout, it's mostly a ribbon track. Well, the right-hand side is a ribbon where there's one line, and then the left-hand side, you could have a few different, ways of going about it.
Layout choices, yeah.
And but the layout that was down, it was fun. Honestly, the cars did a lot of the same like ass lucidness stuff. So like you could, if you had actually really figured it out, it could have helped you.
Right.
And that little 3-day that was there, I think the only guy to go 9.0 was Sam Isaacs.
Mm-hmm.
But Volker was real close at 9.1. And then I think Bruno at the end of the day, he went 9.1. And in some video that X-Ray published. And I think those guys then started gluing tires at that, thing there, just trying to figure it out.
Right.
And it's probably the right answer.
So I got a question for you. When it comes to the gluing of the tires, did that thought ever even cross your mind? Because it didn't for me.
Well,
like, I didn't even fathom that I could do that.
It did, but I don't like doing it, so I won't fucking do it. So fuck all that.
Well, I didn't give a shit. I would have done it if I would have even thought of it. Like
I thought of it, but I don't want to. And I did joke. I said if I had the glue tires, I'd probably go over to Mike G's pits and see if he would do it for me. Just because of that one funny time in 2016 at Drew's track when I was supposed to kicker my tires and I ended up painting it with white glue.
But yeah, I didn't even think about it. I was like, wasn't even an option in my brain. And that's kind of, if there was any disappointment for me, that was that I did not think of that.
All right. That's not my disappointment.
What's your disappointment?
Uh,
You got beat by me again?
no, even thinking about this Aussie fuck, and yeah, every minute I've wasted thinking about this fucker.
He's
No,
in your head. He's in your dreams.
no,
You've been every night.
no. It was over and done with that day. All
Okay.
right, he got resurrected again here, and
I think
that's
he's gonna be living rent free for fucking a
nah,
while.
kid, nah.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway,
You're like fuck all the Australian F1 drivers.
so this is actually a very nice way to think about it. Why don't we congratulate the Americans? And I think you were a massive hater when we did our prediction show. I didn't go back and watch, but I think you said something like, "There's no American that's making the main."
No, I said there would be 3 Americans who made the A main
Oh, okay.
for
Did you
stock.
go back and watch?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I
Who?
said it was gonna be Mike G, Robbie Dodge, and X, and I was only right on one of them.
Okay. All right. I
So I what I did though is I filled out my top 7 first, which I think I pretty much nailed, and
okay.
then the last 3 I was trying to see if I could fill any other Europeans in there, and the last 3 spots I put the Americans that I thought were going to do well.
Mhm.
And so yeah, I mean, I pretty much probably picked 8 of the top 10 in stock.
Okay.
So
I didn't bother. I didn't really care. Just to because I knew it wasn't going to be me in that list, so I didn't give a fuck.
yeah,
Um,
but yes, in mod I did not pick any Americans, and there was 2,
yeah,
which is great. I mean, and like I said, it's like it wasn't personal; it was just an opinion.
it feels personal. All right.
I mean, your only way is feeling personal is if you try to make it personal.
Yeah. All right. Well, just ask those guys for help.
Hey,
And
all I'm saying is it just provided motivation for them to do better, and it helped work. See, you know, the reverse psychology.
yeah. All right. Let's see. What else is out there? We can go through here. Do a slow mo. Yeah. No one has time for that. Jacob and his family. Yeah. They're very nice people. They try a lot, which is great.
Although his mother gets me mixed up with somebody else.
Yeah, the same guy. Then you take grip out, wouldn't tip, but it was slow.
Who said that?
I don't know.
Oh, for sure.
Stewart said, should he glue? And they decided not to.
Yeah, that never made it down to my table because if someone would have thrown it out there, I would have been fucking. Where's a glue bottle at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then George thinks we actually looked worthy on the track.
There you go.
Yeah. Delusion. It's fine. Since many cars are tippy, how would you fix them? Blah, blah, blah. Well, I the thing I did and I stopped doing after a while, but I should probably kept on doing was I just started raising my inner links, and I should have kept on going, but I'd stopped. So that's what I wish I did. I don't know. What were the sort of changes you did as grip came up?
I played with flex a lot, especially on the bottom. That seemed to help. Again, I raised my inner links too in the front. That helped. I never ran more than 1 degree at camber. Mostly I was underneath it. I was under a degree of front camber for the majority of the week. So I didn't do that. My biggest issue that I kept kind of having to fight, and I kept moving way to the front, and hopefully it was helping it, was that my car was really good for the first few minutes, and then it would get loose, and then I couldn't push anymore. And so I was trying to move way to the front to help combat that. And it just never seemed like I got it quite there. Sunday morning, my shit was dialed. Like my car was amazing Sunday morning. And then uh, and then for main, and then for the last qualifier, I ran decent, but I don't know what I did. I screwed up. Oh, the car got loose as the run went on, and I couldn't push anymore. But I blew the lead. Like I flipped once, and I mean I had like probably 4 or 5 seconds worth of wrecks, and I still got a 29 out of that run, and I went a flat. So it was like I could definitely have gotten at least 27 something whatever. My car was still good. There was just that it got to a point where I just was hard to hang on to, and I just lost pace trying not to fail.
Yeah.
And so and I don't know if it's just my talent or skill level or just the setup ability of the car. Don't fucking answer any of those questions, dickhead. And but yeah, it was what it was. So live and learn.
The funny thing for me was the morning practice for Saturday. My car felt good, and I should have known that I was going to be fucked. So then P6, I I flipped my shit like 17 times. Um, I just had too much grip, and so I should have raised everything. I didn't. I too like mostly just played with top decks and motor mount screws the entire weekend.
Yeah.
Um,
Run 4 was my worst run. That was the one where I somehow didn't tighten the left rear wheel nut. That was that run was that was a waste of fucking time.
yeah, I
I
think
don't even know.
was
I don't even
also
know that. Huh?
run 5 was also bad for you. I'm pretty sure I whooped your ass that run too, but that's okay.
I don't think so, but okay.
Um, and then let's see. Blah.
So let's just ask this. Overall, no. Uh, based on I mean results with uh,
With
results without the
ignoring
standard.
results, yes, correct.
Yes. How did you feel you did over the weekend?
Oh, I think I did great. I think the cars kept getting faster, and to me, that's kind of all that mattered.
Okay.
You know, like I did an 11:02. It was so close to sniffing a 10:9. And yeah, you know, I honestly just hope to go back there probably sometime in April or May of 2025 and get to do it all over again. So that'll be great.
Okay. Yeah, actually it's like again Sunday morning I ran a 10.8 and then ran 10.9s every run on Sunday. So yeah, I felt yeah, I was happy with what I did. I mean, obviously I'd like to do better, but even looking at like the point totals for the guy, like a good friend David Mayhew, the track owner, he got there, he came in at 30th. He made the C main. He had an amazing last run. Scored the points that he needed to score. And so he got into the C. But even looking at the people in the C main, probably the first 6 spots were pretty solid. I mean, again, we had Chris Adams, Ryan Cavallari, Dave Vera, all in our heat, all national champions or world champions and respective. So like it wasn't like we were racing against some bumfucks, right? I mean, there was still competition in our main. So you know, obviously you always want to do better, but I felt pretty good with where I ended up. So I mean, obviously I went the fastest I've ever gone. Uh, so I'm happy.
Yeah. And the funny part was like, depending upon the sort, it's funny. Mihai asked about shims under the hub. I actually helped coerce somebody to take shims out of their hubs on a different platform just because their car was such a bag of dicks. And, just hoping that like their cars wouldn't suck so much throughout a run and they would have a better run. And then I would have a better run. So, because you're stuck with these people for 6 rounds and, you're kind of just hoping to like survive out there. And like
Right.
our friend Al Sedano, poor guy, he broke twice in seating, and so he was stuck with in the slowest heat, and he would be on like runs and just trying to pass people, and they would just like destroy him while he's going in a straight line. So it's you never know what's about to happen, but it's kind of crazy. I never changed my diff fluid. I measured my car, like I know what it was on a different meter. Like it was basically it read on Aeromax, it read 250 or 260. But yeah, that doesn't really matter. Um,
Yeah, I did go up at diff. But again, I I don't have I don't know what diff fluid's in it, right?
yeah,
It's just
doesn't matter. It's
doesn't
whatever
matter.
on
So
the meter.
I just used the gauge, and so on my little checker that I had, I think I was I started the weekend, which was fine at like 280, 285, and then I put a 320 in, and that's what I ran all weekend.
Mhm.
But I can't tell you what fluid's in there. It's just that's what it measures, and that's
Yeah.
really all that matters.
And none of those measurements from machine to machine are the
The
same.
same, yeah. So it's you got to have your own machine or whatever, or you got to compare your buddies. And so, like one night, back at the house, which we should talk. That place was amazing. I love that house. I thought that house was the best. But anyway, so back at the Airbnb, it was Kemp and Sam and you and we were all kind of there, and we went through and we just did a diff check party, and we checked everybody's diff, and I think you had the highest actually. Your diff read the highest. It's not a competition. And then Sam's was just like 5 to 10 points higher than mine, and then I was like 5 to 10 points higher than Kim. So we were kind of all in that same ballpark. But I have noticed on those checkers that if you can get with 10, 15 points, does make it feel it. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, so I don't think diff was my issue or a causality. It definitely the thicker diff did help, especially with the middle exit you know, oversteer, but you were already the highest of us anyway, so I don't know if it would have that wasn't your issue.
It wasn't the issue for sure.
Yeah.
All right, and then moving on. The sheet from Simon. I don't think it looks a lot different than the sheet he published. A sheet going into the race. It's on the SMAX Discord. So I assume if you really care, you can go look there. Stewart says as grip came up, he softened his springs a little bit and went to a thicker front bar. Adding shims under the links made his car suck, I think he said. I never barred up. Maybe I should have tried that.
I did do that. I did bar up in the front.
I'm 1,000% positive that my front end was already softer than Stewart's because I know how he runs his shit. He runs it way heavy.
I was probably softest of anyone.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone was running WL hubs that I know of.
I don't think there's really any other hub left.
Yeah, not that you can buy.
Yeah.
Stewart's hating the fact that there was no resort because he didn't seed as best as he could. And, he was putting like near A main runs, but running through a lot of traffic. So it sucked for him. So, is what it is. And I think if you canvas all the sort of IFMAR 10 scale events, like in dirt, they don't run the order the same all the time. So like the fast guys aren't always the last ones to run. Like they kind of rotate it.
Yeah, but also in dirt though, they're only running one class.
Okay.
Right. So it's
And then
all two-wheel drive or
yeah.
it's all four-wheel drive. So you can kind of mix that order. Whereas, we had the spec cars and then we had our cars, the mod cars. And so I think that's probably why they don't do that.
I don't know. Maybe there's not enough cars. Is that why? Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then the other kind of scenarios like in Nitro, I think they resort after 3. So yeah.
Fuck Nitro is like 6 days, dude. Like
I don't have time for that. Yeah. It's fine.
those are it actually I like how'd you feel? I know that you and I both like to practice, right? We like to get out there between runs and do some shit and test some shit. But really I felt that I felt content with the amount of running that we had.
Nah. Fuck no.
Okay.
I would have killed.
Oh, I would have too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I wouldn't, but at the end of the day, being that was the situation that we were given and that's what we had, those are the rules we had to play by, I was kind of okay with it.
Yeah, but you had no choice. Like again, like if I could have ran a practice and then went back out and ran again after changing like one thing real quick, that would have been amazing.
Yeah. Well, you got a double car, kid.
I think the smartest thing I did all weekend was
Was not
leaving the second car in the box.
okay.
Because I knew I could easily mind fuck myself, and so I wasn't positive after running at
Exeter.
like how similar or different things were. So like all I did was I started and I ran the whole weekend with like super high droop, like carpet style droop. And I was just like, I'll make everything else work around it, you know? Um, but yeah, and then carpet worlds, carpets for 12 scale. And in China, they're talking about carpet will be 12 scale and asphalt will be 10 scale. And they're thinking
Yeah,
about,
I don't think they're ever going to run 10 scale on carpet.
yeah, or at least not, anytime soon. So,
Right. Yeah, never say never, but yeah, I don't think unless there's a block that just can't find an asphalt track, I don't think they're ever going to not have touring car on asphalt. I mean, that's where it's intended to be. I mean, let's just face it. Uh,
I prefer touring car on asphalt.
asphalt. So do I.
I would actually like the asphalt to have less grip than Bakersfield did. I think like when the cars slide more and there's less traction, it's better because
Well,
it's
I mean, I think
carpet.
you also have to look at this too, is that the Bakersfield layout doesn't have a lot of those opportunities to where hold my beer, watch this, like a chicane or something like that, right? So there's a lot of really close, tight racing. Not only is it the world's and everyone's somewhat able and competent, but it's a layout that lends itself to not a lot of passing opportunities, but it does as far as qualifying close type competition. So I think that was also an attribute that you don't see a lot of separation or you don't see a lot of risk reward in that. Now there was some there's some treacherous areas that you have to be careful with the curbs, but for the most part I think they were handled it was all handled very well.
Yeah. I don't know. Any other questions? Like like the other things like I did purposely. Oh, and here's a statement. You guys should go to the TITC.
Love to.
I don't know if I would love to because I think it's so fucking hot.
Yeah, but they got like new air conditioned rooms and shit.
Again, so fucking hot.
It's not that bad.
Anyway,
You just gotta get your Florida get on and just get
yeah,
your Florida
yeah,
mindset.
yeah, sure. I got to channel my inner Florida man.
Yes, and you'll be fine.
So, like, all I really tried to do, I think, at this event was make things simpler. So, like, I brought one type of body. I brought
Right.
I brought two rear wings, but I only used one of them.
Mhm.
I mounted my bodies all the same.
Mhm.
Like I ran one chassis. You know, I basically kept most of my suspension all the same. I never changed my shock, anything, uh,
Yeah.
the whole weekend. Like I was just
Right.
like, let's try other things which I think I can control, and maybe they'll have a more they'll offer more effect than me moving a shim like point half.
Yeah.
So,
No, I did run 2 cars for 2 rounds, and thanks to Al for helping me out with both of those, but, the, it helps. I found it beneficial. I was able to take some things from one car and put it to the other car and make it better, and, I was able to test some different, front spring configurations, and also just springs in general. So, but I was never in the mindset that the second car that I was gonna run was going to be my primary. It was always kind of the other car was going to be the primary, and that I was just trying to make it better by doing a couple of little things. So, um, as always, anytime you run two cars, I still contend. I learned this at the 12 scale worlds too, that the second car is always faster. I don't care what order you run it in. The second car always seems to do better. I don't know why, but it just does.
Yeah, and I think it's just the driver's better then, and now
Could
you
be.
have fresh stuff.
Yeah, could be.
So,
Maybe
but
that's what I just need to put a new car out there at the 2 minute mark.
yeah, do that like 7 times, and you'll be real fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, you had run. So one of the few things that's also occurs. Like I love this event because, it's like, well, Bruno won with his Sun Padao battery,
Mm-hmm.
or Orlowski was running whatever battery sponsor he has.
Some pedal. I think he has some pedal.
Okay, maybe. I can tell you, neither of these fucking guys ran a Sun Padao battery the entire goddamn weekend.
I think Bruno did because he ran a 4600.
I think he ran a fucking EA.
No, the chassis focus pictures had the tires that he ran on the car. They were right off the track. Unless they switched out the battery in 2 seconds. And the battery was marked. Now look, you can, if the battery was
anything, bro.
I understand that.
You put
But
a
like
sticker on your penis.
there was one of the Sawadas, I know I think the guy with the Infinity car,
Yep.
like his battery wasn't marked. And so you clearly know that he was running some bullshit battery.
Yep.
Because his battery wasn't marked. But if the battery was marked, I think you had a pretty high likelihood if that's what they ran. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Anyway, it was just interesting. Like, do you feel like, I know you decided to run a 5.0
Mm-hmm.
and you ran a shorty pack.
Mm-hmm.
I ran a 4.5 and I ran one of those new KO super low profile 5300 jammies.
Coyote, you mean?
Or Coyote, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm happy I ran the 4.5. I don't like how 5.0s run. But do you at all wish that you ran something else?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, I think that when it came to the Worlds, a lot of people did motor up because there was a lot of 5.0s being ran at the warm up. But was that necessarily my problem? I don't think so. Don't know. I mean, I could always turn up the 5.0 if I wanted, but I felt my power was pretty good all week.
Yeah.
So, there was never once I went down the straightaway with somebody behind me or in front of me that they just gapped me or they fucking ran me down. So,
yeah,
I'm good with it. Oh, I forgot Rick Hoer was in our main too. I mean, goddamn, we were amongst good company.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
It certainly could be a lot worse. What about like, I know what my biggest unfortunate thing that happened was, and I think you mentioned what your biggest unfortunate happened was. So like at the end of Q5, I had what I thought was a runaway on my car. And instead, upon
you think it really was this?
Instead of it being an electrical runaway, I actually think my pinion came loose because the car, it like turboed, had no brakes, and I could just jam the wheel to the right. And when I was like, I finally fixed the front end of the car that night and I got to the rest of it, the pinion was like down and spinning. And I was like, well, so I took that pinion spur, threw it the fuck out, put a brand new one, and I Loctited the motherfucker on. I was like, you don't have to come off ever. Let's go,
Yeah.
So
that was I had a similar wreck on the first main, and it was literally from the time I got done turn marshaling to before I went to tech, I did not stop working on my car. That's how much shit I had to fix.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I've ever had so much broken shit in my life. And I went to the last main, car was awesome. did, you know, it was just as good as it was for the A before I broke it, uh, and so, kudos to me, I guess, for fixing it. But yeah, it was like I had two bad hubs. I fucking replaced arms, sway bars, springs. I think it was the whole right side was pretty much fucking new, and so yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like one of those situations too. The what happened in the wreck was like, somebody wrecked in front of me going on the straightaway, and I got tangled up and I got flipped on my roof, and then the marshal put me back down, and I go to take off, and I go into the sweeper, and I just had no traction and just went right out to the wall and just took out the right side. So, you know, I wasn't expecting that to happen, but it
Yeah.
did, and so.
I was proud that I didn't do that at all this weekend because that was my move. Like,
Oh
if I
yeah,
were to do anything well, it would be destroying my right front.
on
So,
the sweeper.
yeah.
I mean, I don't even say that's my fault. I think it's because I had no traction and wasn't expecting it.
Yeah. No, I get
So and up
it.
until that point, I don't think I had too many incidences. So I mean, I don't think I only went through one body really.
Yeah.
So
I definitely wrecked a brand new body. I can use it again, but I wasn't going to bother using it at the event. Stewart, he needed a little more turbo. Maybe not 10 degree or 20 degrees, but he could have used 10.
how much turbo were you running, Stu? Let us know.
Yeah.
Put it in the chat. I'll tell you if you had too much or not enough. Because I know the 4.5 setup.
Yeah.
I mean, I've ran. That's all I ran the other 3 times I've been there. So yeah, I decided to go to 5.0 for this race, and I had not run a 5.0 the previously. So yeah.
TC8, it was out there. Like, I can tell you this, the TC8 took a lot of hits. And they kept on putting the car on the track. So that's
Yeah. I mean, Rick got it pretty figured out the last
yeah.
the last couple runs. I mean, he had some solid runs, and he was getting there. And
He was beating me and you.
yeah. I mean, he wouldn't have beat me in Q6 if I hadn't have failed, but or my car wasn't getting loose. That was more the issue. But,
yeah. You wouldn't have beaten me in Q6 if my car wasn't on its lid 20 times.
Well, that's whose fault is that? 15 turbo, I think, on a 4.5. Yeah, you were a little down on turbo, kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Should have came talk to the Mangler. Would have hooked you up.
I
could have loaded that shit right in.
Because
you're like, God damn.
Because it definitely looked like Stewart needed a bit more in A2 and B2 more than.
Oh yeah. When you watched Stewart, when we watched your car, that was the main comment. The last 20 feet of the straightaway, you were getting crushed, and especially going into the sweeper, it looked like you'd almost stop every time. And so like that was, but yeah. So if you're gonna run a 4.5 there, probably need to be around 30, and you probably only need to run about 2 boosts.
What sort of turbo did you have on your car?
30.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had 4 boosts.
I had a 4.5, and on my Corsa-Tech Speedo, I was at 49 boost.
49 boost?
Yeah.
Turbo.
Or turbo.
Jesus criminy.
My boost or my time.
I don't even run that much turbo at Nuggets.
That's fine. Whatever, dude. Different speedos work different ways. Like my timing was only 4.
Yours not very well.
What's that?
Yours must not work very well.
Oh, actually, you know what? I take that back. It was only 28. Now that I look, it was my ramp rate was 48. Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah, I was at 30 and I think 4 on the boost with the 5.0. I literally did not touch a single speedo setting the whole time. So I don't know. Yeah, I can't. I did not run the new G3. However, I did run the old G2 Pro from Hollywing. So there was the only thing that the G3 I like about it, but I have yet to play with, is the dynamic braking when you let out of the thing. It seems like I really feel that if I can figure that out, my program will improve. But I just gotta take time to play with it.
Right. So hold on. I can't stay for much longer, but what is this going to do for you?
Improve my program.
No. What is this setting is supposed to do?
So as you roll out of the throttle, it
Yeah.
will start applying brake.
Okay.
So it's a more of a dynamic drag brake. So your drag brake, they call it freewheeling or whatever.
Mhm.
Uh, Dave Veer coined the term freeballing. So how much freeballing are you running? And
Yep.
so it would apply brake as you roll out of the throttle. And since I'm not the biggest braker in the world, um, I think that would I think it'll definitely help with the way I drive. But I just need to have time to actually sit around and screw around with it. I've had zero since that whole setup came out to actually get to use it. So, but
Huh.
anyway,
Yeah. I don't know anything about that, but whatever. Yeah. So I don't know. That's all I really got. Anything else out there? He says the brakes are better.
well, I don't. Yeah, good. I don't really use the brake, but yeah, fine. I mean that. I mean, obviously that's part of the few tenths that I
Problem?
don't have, huh?
That's part of the problem. You don't use the brake.
I don't use the brakes as well as I should, and I try. It's that I don't know 12 scale oval thing in me. I don't do it the greatest. Yeah, I would imagine. I would imagine it takes a little bit to get used to, but I really think that um, if I can get it set to where I like it,
Mhm.
it'll help me because I can manage throttle more so than I can brake.
Yep.
Um, uh, you know, there was an instance where um, we were at a track and we were taking it. It was an indoor carpet track and it was like 160-foot run line, and we decided to run an 8 scale on-road car nitro on it. And so it was me and another well-known driver who we won't mention their name. And so he goes out there first and is like, trying to set the hot lap and whatever. And then they gave me the radio, and I'm out there and I'm barely lifting, and I beat his hot lap. He's like, "You're not even lifting." I'm like, "Yeah, I am lifting, but I'm not lifting to the point where you hear the motor
Oh,
change RPM ranges enough." And so, like, I can really work on that top half to three-quarter throttle really easy. I just, I've learned that with racing oval and all that all the year in 12 scale. So I think if I can get that feel with the speedo and touring car, it'll help. But excited, looking forward to playing with it. Might not be worth nothing, but the only reason why I bought one is because I heard that. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't even bought one.
all right. Well, I don't know. Here's the real question: when is the next time you are going to race?
I don't know. Maybe Saturday.
Yeah.
There's a practice day at Heroes.
Yeah. I, if I can, I want to go on Saturday too.
Yeah, but I just want to I don't want to be there all day. I just want to. So Heroes lost their shade covering at the track during the Milton storm,
Is
and
that going to be
so,
too hot for you?
huh?
Is that going to be too hot for you?
No, well, let me get to my story, dickhead. So I want to bring my canopy, or I want to up my canopy over there so that it can be used during the state series race, which I won't be able to attend the following week. So I figure if I'm going over there to drop that off, I might as well run a couple laps and just you know, hey, throw the world's car down and see what does it do there. Probably spin the fuck out, but yeah.
Awesome. You
So
could be really fast, dude.
yeah. But more or less, I just want to go over there, take a ride over there, drop off the canopy so that somebody will be able to use it, and give back to the racers.
That's like the most giving thing I've ever heard coming out of your mouth.
What are you talking about?
You usually just give people a bunch of shit.
Well, that I am very good at that. I will say I've almost perfected it, but yeah.
Perfected feels a bit much, but okay.
It's this quick wit and charm that I have.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Interesting. Quick wit.
Indoor champs. No.
Did some? Oh yeah, no to that. Yeah, I'm gonna do Thanksgiving. It'll be good.
I'll be in some foreign country.
Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot. You're going on the Mangler World Tour.
Yeah, we won't be able to. I mean, we're not gonna be able to do track rats for like the next 3 weeks.
3 weeks? What the fuck is this? 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Wow. That's 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We might get other hosts while you're gone.
All right. You want to scab this? That's fine.
Yeah. If anyone wants to come on, let me know. We'll sort it out, and we'll have a gay old time talking about toy cars.
Okay.
So,
But yeah, I leave next Tuesday. I fly out for
wow.
merry old England, and
Yeah.
I don't return. I think it's because the following week is Thanksgiving week.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't return. I don't return to the States till like the 4th.
How fancy. You're all bougie. Wow. Check you out.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Looking forward to it.
All right.
Nice. This would probably be one of the first vacations I have without an RC car in I don't know how long.
Oof.
Crazy.
Yep. All right.
Yeah. I talked to Alex and Bruno, and I was like, hey, because I want to be in Portugal, and I'm like, hey, I need some restaurant tips, and they're like, so you can come by the track. And I'm like, no, I'm not bringing any RC, no RC shit. I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. Not at all. They do have a really nice track though in Lisbon. I don't know if you've seen it.
Look at this. There's a suggestion that you could do it live from Europe. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Okay.
And yes, we had a fair amount of people watching. Everyone wants to hear about Worlds. I don't think Cider knows how to use a computer enough that he could be on. Reinhardt, we could try getting Reinhardt. I don't think he cares enough, but not to hate on you guys or anything, but
he gives no fucks.
I don't think that's going to happen. It will also be pretty late, and so that makes me especially feel like it's not going to happen.
You could get Max or maybe Lucas.
Yeah, maybe we can talk about the struggle bus that Lucas was on.
I'd like to have Lucas on, so I don't want you to do it without me because I'd like to.
Okay, you sure?
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, we'll work on making it a hit. All right. And so don't forget, folks. Yeah, exactly. 46 people and only 11 likes.
Oh, those are rookie numbers. We gotta get those numbers up.
And you got to like and subscribe. We need more subscribers because then we can have a whole episode of Mangler and his singlet. Under like 71 to go. It would be amazing. We all want to see that.
No, I don't think they do.
I think they do. Yeah.
No.
We might need to have like multiple camera angles. Yeah, I think we will.
Yeah, no.
And we'll make it like big style where it's set up this way. It's just that. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. And have like taint view from like down below and other things. It'll be fucking amazing. So,
taint view.
Yeah, taint view. It'll be amazing.
All right. That's
anyway.
Great.
All right. Well, my friend, it's always fun.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently no one wants that. All right. Taint view. I
think
you could be a thing. I always made a calendar called Crotches of the Indoor Champs. I had pictures of people sitting at their pit table, and we can maybe bring that back.
So you could guess whose moose knuckles was whose.
Yeah, something like that.
All right.
Yeah. Don't bother having what they refer to as a cheeky Nando's. It's just some shitty chicken. You don't need that. It's not that good. So yeah, and yeah. So have a fantastic trip. We
I
will
will. Thank you.
hopefully you guys are allowed back in the country.
I
You're
mean,
probably not watching
I don't know if we really want to come back into the country. If it
this.
wasn't for the dogs and animals, I
Mhm.
don't think we would really want to at this
Where are
point
the
in time.
where are the dogs going to be while this great European adventure is occurring?
At the house,
Is someone going to be there, or are they just going to run ragged?
there's somebody will be here.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, so don't come try to steal my shit. There'll be somebody here.
Yeah, it's not going to be that the 103-year-old lady next door, right?
Oh no, 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 no. But she could fuck you up. That's pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Margaret. Oh yeah,
I
she'll
don't
throw
know.
down. She got
I'm not
hands.
I'm not feeling the power of Margaret, but maybe I'm wrong. You know.
You know, she can fuck you up with a walker. Like, wow. She throws that thing like a Chinese star.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That
Is that
feels
racist? Is
yeah.
Chinese star racist?
That's you didn't call it an Oriental star. That would be really racist. So,
Oh. But really, you think it is? Because
uh,
that's what they are, right?
I don't know, man. They probably have a better name than that. All right.
So what would it be? Like Asian star? Like that's what we should call it?
Yeah. I don't know. All right.
I mean, we can still call it Chinese food.
On that note, I'm FJ. This guy, he's the Mangler.
Mangler. Yeah.
And
Thank
this
you.
is Rats. So like, subscribe, and comment if there's
Share
other share and
on the
comment
Facebooks.
other topics you'd like to have us hit on.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it.
All
All
right.
right, guys, that's a wrap. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.